Everybody, this is Dream, and today we have a 5-game NBA slate. This is another day for the NBA in-season tournament, so do keep that in mind. Before I get started, can you guys smash that like and subscribe button? It really helps the channel a lot. I really do appreciate it. Overall, this slate is very interesting. It should be hopefully not too many guys out today, but there isn't a whole ton of value on this one, so do keep that in mind. We'll get an injury report in just a second. Make sure to check out links in the description for Discord and for YouTube memberships. Uh, I do post a lot of write-ups and YouTube members that I don't make videos on, like college basketball and stuff like that. We've been dominating college basketball this season, and so I will try to potentially do a video on college basketball today. I'm definitely going to do a video for tomorrow and the next day, so keep looking for those things. With that said, let's get into the slate here. So let's get into the uh, DraftKings. Let's see here. We have the injury report. Sorry. For the Magic, Carter Jr. is out and Fultz is out. For the Cavs, Mitchell is out. LeVert is questionable. Okoro is out. For the 76ers, Oubre is out. For the Blazers, Brogdon is now questionable. Simmons, Williams, and Henderson are all out. For the Suns, Beal is out. For the Jazz, Kessler is out. For the Lakers, LeBron is questionable, and Vincent and Vanderbilt are out. So let's get into our plays here. We'll start with our guards. And we're going to start with Halliburton, who's just been playing absolutely phenomenal basketball lately. Though he did have one bad game here against Orlando in his last time out, but I look for him to bounce back in this one. He's been dominating the assist numbers. He's been scoring 60 fantasy points in some games. He's got lots of upside. He's also pretty highly priced today, but he's definitely in range of what he can do, especially in an up-tempo matchup game against Atlanta. And I do expect him to have a huge game here. Looking at Devin Booker, he's been surprisingly good in his few games that he's played. He's only played 5 on the season, but he's been good in those, and he's averaging 50 fantasy points a game, so I like his potential here as he's a little bit underpriced still until he gets back into the full swing, but I do like his potential in this matchup against the Portland Trailblazers, who really don't have anybody that's going to try to stop him. Then we're going to look at Trae Young for the Hawks as well. He's been absolutely dominating lately. He's scoring a lot of points. He's getting lots of assists. He's putting up similar numbers to Halliburton, and now they get to face each other. You could definitely go with the 1-2 punch of both these guys because they're going to have a lot of upside, but it should be a fast-paced game, and this game should be a fun one to watch, at least if you like offense. So I do like both guys quite a bit. Then we're going to look at Garland for Cleveland. Now, he is a core play for me, and uh, he's very close to not being a core play, but he is a core play. With Mitchell out, his usage should go up. And while his price is pretty high, he definitely has a lot of potential to have a big game, as he's had some big games in the past. And he does play a full complement of minutes most games anyway. I do expect him to have a giant one in this one, especially in a plus matchup against Philly. Uh, then we're going to look at Jordan Clarkson. Now, Clarkson has been absolutely on a tear lately, averaging 40 fantasy points over the last 5 games. Before that, he had some down games, but he's a streaky player, and while he's hitting and doing well, then he's definitely in play. He does tend to be a little bit scoring dependent, but he's getting a lot of assists and rebounds too, so I do like his potential in this matchup, especially against a team that doesn't really play a ton of defense. And then D'Angelo Russell is also in play today. Now, he is kind of contingent on if LeBron sits because he's had some big games even when LeBron plays, but he does tend to take a little bit of a back seat, especially late in the game if it's close when LeBron's going. But if LeBron decides to sit out today, which he is questionable currently, then he would definitely be a must play on the slate. Moving on our forwards here, we're going to look at Durant. Now, Durant has been very good so far this season. He's really only had a couple off games all season long, and he's played, I think, every game now. In the beginning of the season, he had a few 40 fantasy point games, but since then, he's been over 50 in just about every game. So I do like his potential here. He's priced really good for his upside, and he with Booker, I think he actually gets more usage because when Booker plays, because he gets more good looks as opposed to being double teamed when both Booker and Beal are out. But with that said, this is a good matchup for him. Then we're going to look at LeBron. Now, LeBron is questionable today. Uh, whether he plays or not will definitely be uh, decided closer to the game time, which is unfortunate since it's the later game. But he has a ton of potential as he's been scoring 60 fantasy points in 3 straight games, and he's got a lot of upside. He's also played very well in these tournament games, in-season tournament games, and the Lakers are 3-0 in those games. So look for him to be very active in this game if he does play. Looking at Evan Mobley, now he can play center as well. He's been pretty solid recently, even with his price coming down a little bit. That's helping some here. Obviously, his usage usually goes down a little bit when Allen is fully ready to play for the Cavs, but With Mitchell out, he should get a usage bump as well in this one, so I do like his potential. He's also rebounding the ball very well on the season. Then we'll look at Franz Wagner uh, for Orlando. Now, I do like him quite a bit today. He's been kind of streaky this season, but he does have some upside, and it's a pretty decent matchup for him. This game is probably going to be an afterthought for a lot of people, and so I look for him especially to be a solid option coming in from a game that you don't necessarily expect to put too many bodies from. Then we're going to look at John Collins for the Jazz. Um, he's been playing very consistent so far this season. His price has come up a little bit, but I do think he's still a viable play here, especially with Kessler out. He's been very good, and I do like his upside in this matchup here against the Lakers, who don't play a ton of defense. Though it should be a high-scoring game with the fact that it is a playoff, one of the uh, tournament games. Um, then we'll look at Bay here for Atlanta, as I do like Atlanta quite a bit in this matchup, as I think they're going to be able to score and keep pace with Pacers. And Bay's definitely played very well and consistent throughout the season. He's actually only had a couple bad games all year, and so I do like his upside. Though he does tend to have a low floor, so to keep that in mind. You can also consider Rui Hachimura if LeBron is ruled out today. As for the centers, we'll look at Embiid first. Now, Embiid is obviously uh, capable of massive games, and he might be more motivated today during it being a tournament game, and hopefully that's the case because he'll have some upside here. He's priced really high, but you have that 65 fantasy point upside on this particular slate. Even against Cleveland, which typically has lower scoring outputs, I expect Philly to come out swinging in this one and try to dominate this game. Obviously, Evan Mobley can play this position as well. And then we'll look at Jarrett Allen. Now, he is facing Embiid, but both these guys have some potential as Allen has a good uh, rebounding pedigree. However, he hasn't played more than 30 minutes so far since he's been back, exception of the 32-minute game against Detroit. But he's scoring over a fantasy point a minute right now, so he's definitely in play on this one. If he can get over 30 minutes, he'll pay off. Then we'll look at Capella for Atlanta. Now, he's a kind of a contrarian play, but I do like him a lot today. He is in a timeshare at center, but he's playing very well and consistent, and he's really not having too many floor games so far this year. He's been really good the last few games as well. And so he's got a nice potential in this matchup, especially against in a faster paced game. And so I do like him a lot. With that said, guys, thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below. And have a nice day, guys.